There is an interesting prophecy in 2 Peter chapter 3 concerning the last days of Earth's history, and it very much relates to the whole creation evolution issue. 2 Peter 3:3-7 states, "First of all, you must understand that in the last days scoffers will come, scoffing and following their own evil desires. They will say, 'Where is this coming he promised?' Ever since our fathers died, everything goes on as it has since the beginning of creation." But they deliberately forget that long ago by God's word the heavens existed and the earth was formed out of water and with water. By water also the world of that time was deluged and destroyed. By the same word the present heavens and earth are reserved for fire, being kept for the day of judgment and destruction of ungodly men. Notice that the scriptures are warning us that in the last days people are going to be saying, everything goes on as it has since the beginning of creation. Evolutionists, of course, tell us that the earth has been in existence for millions of years, and that life started evolving on this earth millions of years ago. The technical word used in geology for this belief is uniformitarianism. Evolutionists have the idea that the processes we see operating in the present world have been going on for millions of years at essentially the same rate, and will probably go on for millions of years into the future as well. In the next section of this prophecy, we are told that men will deliberately reject three things. Notice that the emphasis here is on a deliberate rejection, or as some translations put it, a willing ignorance. Thus, it is a deliberate action on a person's part not to believe, A, that God created the world, which at first was covered with water, so it was cool, not a hot molten blob as evolutionists believe. B, that God once judged this world with a global cataclysmic flood called Noah's flood. And C, that God is coming back to judge this world again, but next time it will be by fire. People often ask the question, if there is so much evidence that God created the world and sent a global cataclysmic flood called Noah's flood, then surely all scientists would believe this. The answer is given here in 2 Peter 3. It is simply not a matter of evidence to convince people, for people don't want to be convinced. We read in Romans 1:20 that there is enough evidence to convince everyone that God is creator. So much so that we are condemned for not believing. Furthermore, Romans 1:18 also tells us that men suppress the truth in unrighteousness. Again, the Bible is telling us that it is not a matter of there not being enough evidence to convince people that the Bible is true, since they don't want to believe the Bible anyway. The reason for this is obvious. If people believe in the God of the Bible, then they would have to submit themselves to his authority and obey the rules he has laid down. However, every human being suffers from the same problem, the sin which Adam committed back there in the Garden of Eden, a disease which we all inherit. Adam's sin was rebellion against God's authority. Likewise, people everywhere today are in rebellion against God, so to admit that the Bible is true would be an admission of their own sinful and rebellious nature, and of their need to be born again by cleansing through the blood of Christ. It is easy to see this willing ignorance in action when watching debates over the creation-evolution issue. In most instances, the evolutionists are not interested in the wealth of data, evidence, and information the creationists put forward. Often evolutionists just try to attack creationists by attempting to destroy their credibility. They are not interested in data because they are totally committed to their religious faith called evolution. The earth, sun, moon, and stars stand as a memorial to the fact that God created. The fossil record stands as an immense memorial to the fact that God has judged by water. All of this should warn each man, woman, and child that just as God has kept his word in the past concerning judgment, so he will keep his word in the future concerning judgment. 2 Peter 3 is a prophecy concerning the last days, a prophecy we are seeing fulfilled before our very eyes. Let us therefore become more vigorous and bold in witnessing for our God, the God of creation. This is a quote from 2 Peter 3:11 through 12. Since everything will be destroyed in this way, what kind of people ought you to be? You ought to live holy and godly lives as you look forward to the day of God and speed its coming. Hey, thanks for watching. If you're interested in this subject, there's more at the link below. Take care.